Shalom, family. I pray all is well with you and your family. This word is coming from Exodus chapter 1, verses 1 through 22. So, as you can see, the word Exodus actually means Shemoth. Okay? That is the true title, the Hebrew title is actually Shemoth. Exodus is a Greek title. You know, Constantine and them other sad, sorry jokers that changed the original names of the different books to these Greek names. So the book is not originally called Exodus. It's called Shemoth. Shemoth. Okay, that's the Hebrew word, because this is a Hebrew word that was translated from a Hebrew word into what we know as English. Okay, so this is where all the whitewashing, comes into play. So, but anyway, let's read this chapter of the first book of Shemoth that they call Exodus. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which is actually Yasharel or Yisharel, who came to Egypt. Each man and his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah is Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, and all those who were descendants of Jacob were 70 persons, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And of course, we know that these names also are not the actual, Hebrew names for the 12 tribes of Israel, but for the sake of what we have been given, until you read the Pasora, the Torah, and read the actual names, real names, the Hebrew names of the 12 tribes of our people, then you get the full gist. But the Pasora is all of these books that we have, the 66 books and more, in its proper translated form, with the actual Hebrew names as they were given to us by Yahuwah. So we will continue on, because this is the New King James Version. Okay. So it goes on to say in verse 5, it says, all those who were descendants of Jacob were 70 persons, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, all his brothers, and all that generation. But the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, multiplied and grew exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose a new king over Egypt who did not know Joseph. And he said to his people, look, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply. And it happened in the event of war that they also join our enemies and fight against us, and so go up out of the land. Now, I want you to focus on verse 10. Doesn't that sound like today, how here in America, how these Edomites, the so-called Caucasian people, are fearing that we will come up against them in event of war, because we are on the verge of war here in America, if y'all didn't realize that. We are on the verge of not only war, but nuclear war, and not only nuclear war, but civil war, because of what's going on in these two political camps, these two, um, um, you know, immature, like we in high school, supposed to be grown adults that don't know how to, since we have this particular type of system, democratic system set up over here in the United States of America, which they say that our president over here in America is not elected, but actually selected. But in the meantime, you have groups that are wanting to cause harm against the other group if they don't win. If the Republicans don't win and they want to, start a civil war. I don't know what the Democrats, are thinking or whatever, but it's just a bunch of childish, high school, immature, basically bull crap. Okay. And it's not of the Most High. It's of the world, and it's devilish, and it's wicked. So, but anyway, for those of us who are part of Yesharel, those who have received Yahusha as their Savior, no weapon formed against us shall be able to prosper, and because we are covered by the blood of Yahusha. And so his hedge of protection is over us as we obey and are led and guided by his Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, to guide us and direct us, to keep us from all evil, hurt, harm, and calamity that these demonic meat suits that are walking around that have plans to cause a civil war over here behind who does or who doesn't get into office here in the United Snakes of Hell America. So, but anyway, so yeah, this verse here, chat, and we're going to continue on, but I just want you to, in your own time, go back and focus on this verse here, verse 10. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply, and it happen in the event of war that they also join our enemies and fight against us, and so go up out of the land. And this is what the so-called white man fears here in the United States of America, because of all the evil that they have done to the so-called African American people over here by way of slavery and the segregation, and even up to this day in 2024, the racism that so-called black people, so-called African American people are having to deal with over here in the United States of America. That, and this is why you have more white people that have guns and military style weapons than probably 10 countries as a whole, and that's outside of the U.S. Military. You're talking about just citizens who are white Americans that have more weapons and artillery than probably our military put to all branches put together. And this is because they have fear, because they know what their ancestors did, and what some of them are currently doing here in 2024. They still have that spirit of murder, that spirit of hatred, that spirit of racism, that spirit of prejudice against so-called black people, so-called African American people here in America. And so therefore, this is why they have so many weapons, okay, and put together so many laws against our people, against the black people here in America, because the devil that they serve, even while they call themselves so-called supposed to be believers of the Holy Scriptures, but they go by the term Christians, which is not part of anything dealing with the original word of the Most High Yah. This is that word is a man-made idol term because his name is not Christ, his name is not Jesus, his name is Yahusha, Hamashiach or Hamashiach. Okay, so many lies, so much deception, and this is why you don't see people that follow after Yahusha, and you don't see them walking in victory. You don't see them waking up to the truth. You don't see them accepting true Israel, the true Hebrew people, which are the African American people, because of the lies and deception and in Christianity, which keeps them in that bondage of racism, because Black people, African American people, we cannot be racist because we never enslaved another group of people, ethnic group of people. We have never segregated another group of people. We have never done any of the horrendous, evil, wicked, dark things that was done to us to any other group of people on the face of the earth. We were the ones that was done to, and then scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And those horrendous things happened to us by way of the Edomites, by way of what they call the so-called European, the so-called Caucasian, the so-called Khazars, the so-called, white man. Okay. And not only just them, but the Arabs were part of the slave trade. Also, the Spaniards, the king and queen over there in Portugal and Spain. So there were many hands in many other nations, and even those who may have been even of our own people, or maybe they weren't, but they were maybe the Hamites of the descendants of Noah, who had a hand, through the ports that we came through Ghana and Benin and the different parts, of Africa, who were also of the dark races, but they were not of us, of the tribe of Judah, but they participated in the evils of the slave trade with the Arabs, with the Spaniards, with the Europeans, to scatter us on slave ships throughout the four corners of the earth. So this is very important, this verse right here. So there's there's nothing new underneath the sun. So anyway, we're going to continue on. So verse 11 says, therefore they set masters over them to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh supply cities, Pithom and Ramses. Okay, so there's more pyramids and Ramses and stuff like that over here in the U.S. than there is over there in Egypt, the so-called Egypt, over there in the colonizer name continent that's called Africa. Okay, so just over here in America, there are more pyramids over here, and I'm sure more Ramses as well. And if you notice, just over in the so-called Egypt, that's in the continent of so-called Africa, that they cut off the noses off of the Ramses, because Satan, operating through the meat suits of so-called white man, didn't want the so-called Egyptians, who are people of color, melanated people, and the Hebrew slaves, the Israelite people, Yisrael, to know that they were the people that were pictured in those paintings on the pyramids that show the Egyptians. To this day, they're melanated people, and the Hebrew slaves that look just like the Egyptians, who are melanated people with kinky curly hair. Ain't nobody got no straight blonde hair, none of that, no blue eyes and all that type of stuff. Even though we do had, come out with blue eyes and hazel eyes, but majority of the Egyptian people and the Hebrew people, melanated people with kinky curly hair and brown, dark brown, eyes. Okay, so verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were in dread of the children of Israel. And you also see that in our, forefathers as well, that the more that they afflicted us through the 400 years of the slavery, of the transatlantic slave trade slash war, and also the indigenous melanated people who believe are of one of the tribes of Israel, who were already here in this region, along with the Egyptians. Yes, the more they afflicted us, the more we multiplied. Okay. Verse 13. So the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor, and that's also what happened during the 400 years of slavery over here in America. We went through the exact same thing that our forefathers went through, serving through slavery here in America with rigor. And then verse 14 says, and they made their lives bitter and hard bondage in mortar and brick and in all manner of service in the field, which for us, it would be of the picking of cotton and sugar cane plantations and stuff like that. You can find that all over the South, the plantations and stuff like that. And of course, throughout the islands that we know of, where the slave ships went, they had sugar plantations, rice plantations, cotton plantations, and other plantations. So this also applies to us as well. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and brick and in all manner of service in the field, picking cotton. Okay, all their service in which they made them serve was with rigor. Okay, long hours out there in the heat, out there in the sun, and we can handle it because we have that melanin in our skin, which is a protector from the heat rays of the orb that is called the sun. Okay, then the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, of whom the name of one was Sifra and the name of the other Pua. And he said, when you do the duties of a midwife for the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stools, if it is a son, then you shall kill him. And if it is a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared Yah and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the male children alive. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, why have you done this thing and saved the male children alive? And the midwives said to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they are lively and give birth before the midwives come to them. Therefore, Yah dealt well with the midwives and gave the people and gave the midwives and the people. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Therefore, Yah dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and grew very mighty. And so it was because the midwives feared Yah that he provided households for them. So Pharaoh commanded all his people, saying, every son who is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive. And this part right here, we know just in the South alone that they use our baby boys for gator bait here in the United States of America. They used the baby boys that were born, the infant slave boys, as alligator bait in the southern states. So very wicked, very evil things. So don't be shocked when World War III breaks out over here in the United States of America. And of course, they are shorthanded on military personnel. They don't have enough men and women that want to be involved in the military or any of the military branches here in the United States of America. They don't want to fight for this country, and they definitely, for sure, do not want to live their lives fighting for this country because these young people have learned the truth. Okay, they have learned the truth about the evils of this country of so-called white America, and the current things that they have in place with all the laws and the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, federal and state and local laws that we have in place, and there's still racism, and there's still these particular groups, white supremacy groups, Nazi believing groups that are here in the United States of America that have plans even during this presidential election to do harm to black women, because they're soft targets in certain places during the voting process on tomorrow, which would be November 5th, which we rebuke that, and we plead the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach over every single black African American woman here in the United States of America, and every black person here in the United States of America during this presidential election, that no weapon formed against those who are going to be voting on tomorrow shall be able to prosper. And we charge the angels to go before them, behind them, beside them, all the way around them, to protect them from all evil, hurt, and harm, and calamity, from the plans of the enemy, the evil one, Satan, who is operating through these deceived, demon-possessed white people here in America. That are very racist, very hateful, very evil. And it's not all of them, obviously. It's not all white Americans. There's just a certain group of however many millions of them that it is, especially in these what they call small towns, these hick towns where these people have never been around anybody else outside of themselves, not realizing that this country was built by slavery, that every time they touch a doorknob, that a black man invented the doorknob. Every time they use a stove, a black man created the stove. Every time they use a clothes dryer, a black man invented the clothes dryer. Every time they open up the ironing board, a black man created an ironing board. Every time they open up a folding chair, a black man created the folding chair. Every time they get on the elevator, a black man invented the elevator. Every time they look at a thermostat, a black man created the thermostat. Every time they hang up some curtains with the curtain rod and bracket, a black man created those things. And every time they go and buy a bag of potato chips, Lay's bag of potato chips, a black man created potato chips. The ice cream scoop, the ice cream, okay? And the list goes on and on. The mailbox, okay? Fire escape ladder. A black man created those things. So you got to be very dumb, very stupid, very ignorant to be racist and prejudiced and still have hate in your heart towards black people, when on a daily basis, those things that you are using that I just mentioned, and there is more, were invented and created by the so-called black man here in America. And those things are being used all around the world, in all countries, in all nations, in all continents. Okay, people are using doorknobs. People are eating ice cream and potato chips. Okay. Curtain rods, lawnmower, stoves, okay, getting on elevators that a black man over here in the United States of America invented and created. So you would think that these sapsuckers over here that call themselves the government, okay, your in your judicial systems would have put together in not only reparations but crime bill for African American people, the black people over here in the United States of America. You think they would have put together a crime bill? But no, because they are evil, because they're wicked, because they want to continue to keep this racism going over here in the United States of America, because they are greedy and they're hungry for power. They don't want to lose their power. The power that they have is not from the Most High Yah, it's from Satan. Okay? You are not going to continue in a power that does not come from the Most High Yahuwah. It cannot be sustained. So this is what we are fighting against. This is what they are fighting against, to keep and stay in this wicked system of white supremacy and white power. That's why you have a certain demographic of people from a certain party that have this term about making America white again, basically making America great again. America was never white. Okay, we got pyramids over here that are more than what's over there in Egypt. So that's proof that there were melanated people here, the Egyptians. There were that's proof that there were Hebrew people here. That's proof that there are indigenous melanated people that was over here in America before the white man even came into existence. Okay, from the Caucasus Mountains, a hybrid. Okay, I know a lot of people can't conceive that, can't understand that. You're going to have to pray and ask the Most High for revelation, knowledge of this, because I only speak the truth. I only speak what the Most High Yah gives me to speak and to share, which is, his word. So, yeah, this is what we are dealing with in this country, in America. We are dealing with, principalities and wickedness and in high places. We're dealing with demonic activity, and that demonic activity was defeated by Yahusha on the cross. Okay, it was defeated. So we have the victory in every circumstance, in every situation against these demonic forces that are operating in the minds of these the people that are in government positions that are not doing right by the African American people over here in the United States of America. Like I said, you got to be, dumb, stupid, and got a mental problem to not realize that you take us, because it said here in the word of the Most High about for us, us going up out of the land in event of war, that they also join our enemies and fight against us, and so go up out of the land. Well, why should we stay? Why should African American people stay here? Y'all been telling us you need to go back to Africa. No, you need to go back to where you came from, because there wasn't no white people over here in America. You need to go take your white behind back over to the Caucasus Mountains, back over there into the caves where you came from. Okay, because there was already melanated people over here in America. No, you need to go back to where you came from. Now, obviously, there's some of us melanated people that our forefathers wasn't over here. They were over in the continent of El Kerbilon that y'all call Africa. Okay. So, but yeah, really all of us need to go. And then the Most High can do what he said he was going to do to this place, which is, destroy it, because he can and will do that. Now, whether that be literal or he just destroyed those people who are wicked, who want to keep all of this wickedness and evilness going, that's his way of saying that he will destroy the land. But he said land. He didn't say, he did say he was going to destroy people, wickedness in terms of people, but he actually specifically said the land. So I don't foresee this place being habitable for male and female, let alone animals, to live. Okay? Because of all the wickedness and the evil. That's why you had those 3 total solar eclipses that went across America, which are harbingers to show there will be destruction, there will be war. Okay? Because of all of the demonic activity and idol worship that goes on here in the United States of America. And you have government officials, you have local and state government officials that participate in this stuff and therefore keep this evil going in this country against African American people. That's why we do not have a crime bill, and we were the ones that were in slavery over here for over 400 years. This is why we haven't gotten reparations, which would bankrupt this entire country. Like every single dime, dollar, gold, silver, everything would have to go into the hands of the black people, the so-called African American people in the United States of America, because that's how much we are owed. That's how much money they owe us. Not no $350,000, not no $1 million a person. Okay, not no $2, $3, $4 million. You talking about 17 plus $1 million a person here in the United States of America that is owed to the African American people. You talking about 400 years of what I just read to you in Exodus chapter 1 that happened to our forefathers, and currently we are having to still deal with systemic racism and prejudice systems and people here in America. And not just here in America, but also in other countries too, that the straight hair, pale skin, olive skin people hate us and treat us in the manner of their evil, wicked mindset and hearts in other European countries and other countries around the world. Okay, so, but the Most High Yah in his word has a plan for every single one of them. Every single other ethnic group on the face of the earth, the Most High Yah has a plan to deal with everyone accordingly, according to their heart, according to their deeds, according to what they have done to us as a people and continue to do to us as a people, and according to them receiving or rejecting his son Yahusha, because he made it very clear that you cannot come to the Father except by way of his son Yahusha. Okay, you cannot come to the Father unless you receive his son. You doing anything else, serving anything else, you're serving an idol, you're serving something that is made by man's hands, and it's demonic, and it is wicked, and it is not the truth, and you're being deceived. because there's only one true Elohim, and his name is Yah, and his name is also Yahuwah. It's only one creator of heaven and earth and everything therein, who created man, who created male and female in his likeness and in his image, and everything that he created else. Okay, it's only one. All these other false idols that people speak of, they're demons, they're fallen angels. It's only one, and his name is Yah. So like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification, because the Most High Yah, he has a plan, and his plan is his word, and we have his word. We have his Ruach HaKodesh, and know that we have the victory in every circumstance, in every situation, and he will deal with the wicked people, our adversaries, our enemies. You can even call them so-called handlers, okay? These wicked people over here in the United States of America and around the world, they want to keep Black people, African American people down, who don't want to give us what belongs to us, our artifacts, our reparations, our identity, everything that they stole from us. They have to give it back to us sevenfold. Say when the thief is found, he gonna have to give back sevenfold of what he stole. So they would actually have to give up the whole country in every single penny, dollar, gold, silver, oil, gas, whatever is on this land that they call the United States of America, would all have to go into the hands of the so-called African American people, and everybody else would have to pack their grip and get gone if that's what we decide that needs to happen, because that's how much we are owed. Not all these different numbers that they know. We are owed it all. Yes, everything. So, and that's what the word says as well. So anyway, be blessed. Until next time, we'll chat later about what the Most High Yah gives me to share with you. In the meantime, go back and read the book of Shemoth that they call Exodus.